I didn't see radio.
Jump on back lobby bomb.
Okay.
Could be down when you come.
I have all of it.
Guys, you can come main. Could be down, Matthew. Careful main. I'm blind. Could be
K ramp. Back lobby.
Main. I'm behind main. That main.
One left.
Careful down. Let's push main.
Only one ramp.
Could be down. Lobby.
Bomb back lobby.
I'm behind you, Will, if you want to pick.
Just run away. Okay.
I'm ready to pick radio.
Yes.
Good.
Ready.
That's lobby. No? I
Doesn't
don't know. See one that.
Nice!
Please, don't lose weapon. We don't have money now. Don't be heroes,
You want me
guys,
to go
okay?
ramp? I mean, there's two radio.
1 minute sharp. Yeah. Would be nice to go ramp, Shah. Yeah. Don't sit up. One city box. And one blue. One more city box. And one more blue. One more city box. Yeah. I don't see
A
that guy.
big ramp.
No,
Close ramp.
and under one. And blue. And blue.
Okay.
Maybe blue as well, the other one. I don't know. I was reloading.
Big is 7.
Blue. Blue, sorry. Holding right side. Blue still.
Alright, boys. Good job. Molly just.
They know about it. I can flash.
Just chill, Shah.
Right there.
Down. I will flash
Flashing
down.
Flashing heaven.
Flashing. Careful down.
One more down, guys.
Seven.
Let's careful. Down. Let's go in now. He's alone in there.
Go Vents, Shah. Okay.
I'm going main. Emil, careful. Can be anywhere.
Ready? Taking out. 3, 2, 1.
Can be in that. Can be C1. Can be anywhere.
Tight.
I pick him.
That's down. In heaven.
You can hold him. Now you're alone. Yeah. That's good.
Could build door.
You can.
Zywoo with a little Sabo call there, Josh. Oh, they get into it. Don't worry about that. What we do need to worry about is a third map pending, but we'll talk about Nuke first. Vitality and Astralis going toe-to-toe. Slobber knocker here in a way that is...
Excuse me?
Yeah, slobber knocker.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like a boxing match.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to...
Unless there's other...
No, I definitely had a different visual of what...
Well, I'm sure most people had a different visual of this series overall, especially thinking about an Astralis coming in here versus a Vitality. But what we've gotten here is a pretty clear, concise third map needed.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely we're heading for a third map, but when you look at what happened on Nuke, we saw basically kind of... if you look at the timeline, the first 7 rounds of each half were mirrored. So it's like Astralis wins pistol, then Vitality force buys back on them, then Astralis wins the next one, and then the next 2 after that, and then it's 2. You know what I mean? And then the same thing happened in the next half, just the inverse. So very back and forth, very just like teams. They couldn't figure out exactly which way they wanted to head in the rounds, but some hectic situations, some frustration, a little bit of everything going on, some clutches, some bad plays. Everything was happening in those first 7 rounds of each half.
Yeah, and these numbers are going to speak to that testament as well, Josh. You know, we're talking about back and forth in a lot of regard. Mind games through the roof.
Yeah, we saw Magiska on top here. I think the Vice also had a pretty impactful game towards the latter half of the game, especially when he got that 4K on ramp. I think that was a pivotal moment for the team and for himself to kind of like feel good about himself. And I think that's also going to be important before we head into a Mirage as well, just having Device feeling like he's confident with that op. But I mean, we didn't really see Zywoo on there, but I think Zywoo was a pretty big on that CT side, just jamming them up outside.
Josh, I'm going to say that life is a feeling process.
Yes.
Just like this game itself is something that you have to kind of feel out inside the server and outside the server. Let's talk about emotions over there in the Vitality camp, because they're obviously running a little bit high in some regard.
Well, they're feeling all sorts of emotions.
Right?
Does he say anything here? No, just facial expressions. He's upset about some stuff. He's upset about himself. He's upset. Like I wonder, like the times you see him on the keyboard and then he just starts complaining after. Is that when he's like missing a shot? Is he annoyed about how his teammates reacted in certain situations to certain information? Is that don't even know what's going on there? Maybe he's unplugged the USB by accident as well. Just very animated, very unhappy with some of how the rounds played out specifically. There were a lot of rounds where they probably could have closed this game out and just decided to fumble it.
You did say voice clip, and we do have that privilege. We do have the technology even. Let's take a listen in right now.
Okay, guys, it's fine, but let's listen. We have perfect information at the beginning of the round, okay? We say we skip ramp. It was important, okay? Let's just listen to it.
Okay, I think what happened there was, you know how I talked about the Team A, then Team B, then Team A. That was Vitality. They won a force buy. They go into the next round. They know that outside's clear because ZywOo gets degged outside, right? Apex goes up secret. He gets a kill with an HE, says, wait, outside's clear. But Rops is rotated off of ramp to CT spawn, basically, and Flames is rotated into mini garage. And everyone's watching outside. No one's watching ramp. So everyone from Astralis just floods down ramp, gets into lower site. Apex is like freaking out. Why are you guys like not there? He's opening the door, forcing a fight. It's unnecessary, but like in his head, he's got all these things happening, like, why is my ramp player like over there? What's going on? I need to do here. Well, what gaps do I feel? And he's just like overloading his brain with what should have happened instead of what he needs to do in that moment. So he makes a misplay. He gives up another rifle to their force buy of like Tech 9s and stuff. They lose that round, and he's just kind of in the moment of thinking about all the other things that went wrong in that round, and he's not even able to focus on his own gameplay.
So gameplay round 14.
Round 14. Yeah, so basically what we're seeing is, again, pistol round goes to, I think, Vitality, and then Astralis is on a force buy. And it's a slop fest. It's just very sloppy. Everyone's fighting in 20 different spots on the map, and this is just kind of like a back and forth cat and mouse game, like trying to plant the bomb without having any stability. People are coming out of like ramp and lobby and up heaven and down the vents and everywhere. Just absolute chaos going on, and then it comes down to this very close moment where Astralis is just barely able to eke out a win here. And if this round goes different, I mean, there's like 7 different rounds probably in this game alone that if this had gone different, we could have won. And that's probably what Vitality's thinking. I think everyone who's ever played the game's thinking like, oh, if we just won this round or that round where it came down to this, then we would have won the game. But there's a lot of situations here where they were in full control.
Sorry, I think there was a bit of a misplay here. In terms of other players that we've seen maybe go on runs and tears here and perhaps even slow down a little bit, what other players we got in the pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, from this game right now specifically, I think you saw the same things throughout the 2 maps. I think ZywOo was really crucial in some moments at getting that opening duel, with just winning that. But outside of that, he wasn't really like an impact in the rounds for the rest of the round.
What about a Magisk?
Magisk was a huge. I think he had 25 kills at the end of it. I think we ran the stats for like the 5 best performers in the map, and Magisk was definitely up there. Just collecting all. I mean, I think part of it is how he plays on Nuke. On that T side, he's kind of just like a part of the pack, but also splits off and can kind of clutch the rounds. He's not the entry like Hooksy is. He's not like running in first and dying, but he's not the hard lurker. So he gets to be in a lot of situations where he can go where he thinks things are gonna be happening. So if he thinks he can get a flank kill, if he thinks he's gonna go group with a team and go for trade kills, he gets to just decide all these different places that he can go, and then he can min-max his output that way. And then on the CT side, he plays around door, so when Vitality is doing all these outside plays, he could be jumping down the vents, or he can be pushing lobby. He basically is able to play in so many different places, and compared to his output on Inferno, this was a completely different version of Magisk. This is a Magisk from the old days.
A one-man wolf pack, I think, is what you're looking for there.
Well, sure, if you want.
No, I'm good on that. I am ready to talk about Mirage.
Okay.
I mean, as a decider in this series, it is only appropriate, right? I mean, you think about the level at which Astralis came in here. There was question marks. There were a lot of like, okay, well, definitely on paper, this is a Vitality game all the way through and through. Maybe there's some chance for a falter here because it would seem like at this time, Vitality is a mortal team.
Well, I mean, they should have closed it out on Nuke. I'm not going to lie. I feel like they let it slip. Too many opportunities given away to Astralis. And Astralis, I mean, that's what Counter-Strike comes down to. It's about punishing your opponents for making mistakes. Vitality made a lot, and Astralis was able to capitalize on it. A map like Mirage is ripe for people making mistakes. There's a lot of different lanes that you can use and utilize, and there's not so many players that can actually control all the lanes. So there's going to be gaps, there's going to be sloppiness, there's going to be chaotic fights. And that's kind of what we saw a little bit on Inferno with like stuff happening down at apartments, but also banana at the same time. We saw it on Nuke, outside and ramp, and there's lobby push and all this stuff happening. Mirage is ripe for that sort of thing. Now it comes down to, is Device now warmed up that he had the 2 maps under his belt?
He was certainly in the server in the last map, you know, a presence to be felt. When I look at Mirage and I start thinking about statistically speaking, yeah, this should be a Vitality a little bit more comfortable, so to say, and maybe closing that series out right here in a quarterfinal that you probably wouldn't have put him in to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the map pool before we came in here. Very comfortable map pool for both teams. I think, though, Mirage probably edges a little bit more in Vitality's favor than Astralis is. I think Astralis is probably a little bit more comfy on a map like Ancient, but unfortunate for them, that's a map that Vitality literally never play. So it's out of the play, and yeah, we just got to see Vitality probably close this out.
Out of the play and out of time we're going to jump into a break. You know how this goes. You know the routine. We go to a break, we come back, we finish out this quarterfinal. We find out if Vitality can send Astralis packing or if it's going to be Astralis advancing on into those semis. It's going to take Mirage to find out, and we're going to find out when we return after this break. We'll see you there.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God that's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards EPL. Experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/EPL.
Hi, this is Basement Dweller's first advertisement. And our second drop is, it's up, actually. If you're seeing this, it's up. It's available on the ESL shop. We had our first go at a jacket, and I'm really proud of it. I've always had an interest in clothes, but, you know, seeing behind the scenes how the sausage is made has been a lot of fun. And if you like the clothes, tell me. If you hate the clothes, tell me, but try them before you slag them off. I think they're really comfy. So yeah, that's my advert. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna record another one.
Zaiwu, Shiro, and Monacy.
I wanna put top upper Shiro, second Zaiwu, and third Monacy. Why Shiro top 1? Because I think Zaiwu and Monacy, they're more hybrid players. They like bot AKs or something like that. And Shiro is most useful player with op right now. I think it's just my opinion.
This year it has to be #1 Zaiwu. I think last year Monacy won. I definitely think that Monacy maybe is more of a capable opper at times than Zaiwu, but I think this year Zaiwu has proven that he is still better. #2, I would then put Shiro. I think he's playing incredibly, really consistent. I think definitely a top 5 player in my eyes at least. So for #3 it's Monacy. I think that he picked up the pace lately. I think he's been playing really well, but still I feel like those two are a bit above him.
I would say Zaiwu, Monacy, and Shiro.
Upper Zaiwu first, definitely, this year. I would put Shiro as second and Monacy as third, but Monacy will finish second by the end of the year.
Hey guys, Mezzi and Flames are here to talk B overpass.
I love being dildo. Pillar?
Yeah,
I love being pillar.
I think it goes better if you say I love being pillar, not Barrels is great. Barrels is really fun, and sometimes I get a little bit excited and venture out to close monster. Short's a scary place. I try to stay away from that. I leave it to this guy, but yeah, Barrels and left side or right side monster, whatever you want to call it.
Well, obviously it's a smoke B monster, but I think the flashes are supreme.
Yeah, I think flashes overall on overpass are super important. Flash peaks for monster for me, flash peak and short for this guy. I think of course it's down to timings, but I think you get so much information on overpass, and down to flashes overall is a big part of that. the FAMAS, I think, for a Monster player, it opens up a bit more. It doesn't force me to play so close all the time and try to
I think you should start a scout mid or something.
Scout?
Play close short, I'm close left. Because you're good with scout.
Yeah.
Not just a scouter.
XM is also very strong, but...
It's terrifying if you hit the first shot. FAMAS I like as well, but yeah. I'd prefer MP9 just because I have more util.
And you like to run.
Yeah, exactly.
You like to peek and fight, so it's good for this
To
time.
throw myself to death, yeah. Maybe kill.
It's important across all maps, but I think Overpass especially the cross-map connection, I think is really important for us on B to know exactly what's going on towards A, because like I said, it's such a big map, so it's so much information that can be taken. It also helps us make decisions, what's happening across the map. Do I need to smoke Monster? Can I save it for a bit longer? And
on A side, a lot of things we need, that if they give us certain information, then me and Will know how to play on B. If I know someone is short, maybe we can find a plan to sometimes not die, sometimes kill him. Then we have like the obvious stuff, when to smoke Monster, who does what, when. That's the basics-ish, so we just stick with them now.
Especially recently, I think that a lot of teams have gotten very good at executes and new ways to flash like 3 or 4 different positions. So I think for us it's about, like I said before, using our utility just as good as we can, like with the flash peaks at good timings, because if you kind of let teams execute on you, it's all about having good timings on our utility to try and combat that, because I think, yeah, if teams full execute on you with flashes, and they're so fast, like if they come close, short, close Monster, within a second they're at barrels or on mid-sight, so it's like you have no time to react, so it's really important that you kind of try and find newer positions or new plays to go against these executes, I think.
Now this one goes one of 2 ways. Map 3 of the IEM Chengdu first quarter final. Vitality taking on Astralis. We expected this might be a quick one, but an underdog for sure. Astralis with sharp fangs on this once great Dane. Takes us the distance. This series sees 3, but headed into Mirage, the question is, can they replicate? Vitality, are they still that known quantity? Has there what seems to be bickering, what seems to be difficulties in communication, does that now get exacerbated by Astralis taking Nuke? Mirage, the 3rd and final map. Will this be a series we talk about and reference for months to come as where Vitality cracks started to show, or will we forget about this one as a close but no cigar?
Astralis won the 9th, they'll get to start on the CT side, but they'd have to snap a 5-map loss streak to book their spot in the semi-final and topple Vitality for the first time since January 2024. They're up against it. Right now they're 3 out of 4 as far as pistols are concerned. This will make it 4 out of 5. Yabby Ticket has very limited support right now as the execute comes in.
Rushes high, Device has vision, but only for a moment before that smoke does land, and Mezzi, he will not be landing onto sight. Yabby plucks him from the air, but the bomb will go down.
Where's this second smoke for Apex going right now, and the flash? Is it for CT? Holding on to it. A lot of restraint at the moment.
Waiting for confirmation of presence, and does look like they're going to be run boosting. Astralis, that is, CT, or actually boosting. But well delayed. That smoke now buys a lot of time off of that clock. They're going to have to make plays. Coming in from the contest, Magisk is in trouble. Zaiwu, oh, he's made a meal of that. Bit of a mess, and Astralis just knock him down. Team Ace to start us off map 3.
Yabby just copped a Team Goosh there as well, but he does get the defuse through. Everything's okay. I love it and I hate it from Vitality at the same time. So normally in that situation, one of the protocols you have as a CT, if you are going to play retake, A, is to have a flash to take back that space, because the Ts will tend to take all of that space over towards Ticket. They'll get on the trash can, they'll stack on each other's heads. They'll play like 3 or 4 players there, anti-flash if they can get the room. So they held onto the smoke, they were waiting for the flash, then they block, which means that the likely 3 players that were going to channel through now have to come through a smoke. Zaiwu's had some uncharacteristic misses. You go back to Nuke, that 1-0 towards CT Vent in a very winnable round thanks to Rops. Led to a map loss. Now they're into the 4. So fortunately they get the bomb down. And it's a gamble stack against the Force from Astralis. They've started heavy towards A. Magisk will be the short holder, Hooksy the B anchor. Yabby your A Stair connector and device as the AWPer over towards middle. And Apex is all sorts, isn't he? Just missing a casual flash under no pressure. Meant to be part of this fake over towards A that Rops is now selling. Fortunately, it is just Hooksy on B for Vitality. If they get past him, they're in.
Yeah, let's see what you got. Hooksy to be tested, and it's a free frag onto ZywOo. No one clears him out. Spacing. Ripped apart. Hooksy delivers. Exceptional. Phenomenal. They got what they wanted. It was just one man on the site, but hang on. Apex and Robs are doing them dirty on the pistols. Deagle Tech9, they're so low, those there. This is yours. Yours for the taking. Apex on the reload. Can take him down with a wall bang. He did. Nearly catches them both. Robs. Swaps out to the dig on that low HP and nails it.
Absolute scorcher there from Robs to finish it, but that's got Apex fired up. One of his more impactful rounds right there. 3 for him, and that's after his stars go out first, better equipped, and their spacing is pipped by Hooksy. The one man on the site delivers 3. That has to be your round, Astralis. And teams have been struggling with conversions. You go back to Nuke. Whoever won the pistol lost to the Forces. But will these Force by Wards continue back and forth? In with the pistols. 5-7s, Deagles, we're underway. Apex making the same call as the last. As Stair knows that could have been his. Just Hooksy here again. Same 4-man lead towards A. On the jump spot, going to have to use this defensive because here they come.
Has he got anything else? Exceptional at the start of the previous, but this time completely empty hands.
And 1 kill's enough. They're going to have to hold on to these pistols, and back-to-back now for Vitality. I think it's admirable that Astralis have been able to take this to the 3rd. I think, this is the thing, I'm not great with odds, so when I was looking at them, my interpretation of a 6-to-1 odd is apparently not a 6-to-1. What is actually more? It was like a 7-to-1, like 85% chance, this is from the bookmakers, that Vitality win.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's a realistic expectation of everybody because 4 tournaments with Magisk in the ranks, their best placing was a playoffs. Right now, by winning their 2 opening games here in Chengdu, they have secured their best placing with Magisk in the team of a minimum of 5th, 6th. So they'd already over-exceeded to then get drawn against Vitality, who fumbled in their bracket. It meant it was always going to be tough, and they showed grit. Map number 1, the scoreline, you might sit there and go, oh, 13-7. Yeah, maybe if they won a clutch round. No, they just won pistols, right? That was a blowout. Map 1 was an absolute blowout. Map 2...
Which met our expectations.
Yes, but Map 2, it was them on what is their home map, and a map that Vitality have been picking, mind you, some class Counter-Strike.
See how class it can be with just a couple of pistols.
This one here, I feel, is the hardest of the bunch. Right? Josh was discussing it on the desk. Like, if they could have got Ancient, well, that's Vitality's permaban. So, no, you do have to play Mirage. And you likely will be rinsed.
Rinsing in progress as we observe an eco bash.
I guess there's... Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
I guess there's parts of this conversation that start to get deeper, and this becomes for the end of the series and the start of tomorrow if things keep going in the way of Vitality. I would love to see Astralis find some fight, and we're still in so early stages. I'm not ruling them out. I'm just getting ahead of myself, as it were. But is the form that you see from Vitality now concerning when they go up against Mouse again, which will be for the 11th time in 2025?
Might be.
Right? That's the thing. Is it concerning? And that's going to be the questions that will linger. Mouse will be watching this on.
I'm not ready to write out the Astralis 15% just yet.
Okay.
You know? Sure, numbers, stats. I was never very good at numbers.
Okay, well.
I like to go with my heart, and right now, I'm telling you, I think that nuke might have rattled them. I know, suddenly he's all confident and suave and sophisticated, but all it takes is a little bit more out of the Astralis ranks. And you saw Hooksy's 3K short. Okay, they did. At least they still won that round somehow. But the individuals are firing, get device and AWP, and see what Astralis can muster up.
Well, you're not good with numbers, but you might be 1 out of 15 people in the world believing in this one. So let's see. First rifle round.
It's going to be very telling. ZywOo taking heavy flak damage. Spammed away at ZywOo, dipping, and actually not going to play scared. He keeps going. Does not release the W key. as Yabi just makes mincemeat. Robs and Apex cut down Ramp and Palace respectively. Nade to fight Con, Device. This is really what you want to be seeing. The CT's clamped down on the mid. Leaving the bomb on Mezzi's back and now sat on his ass.
Can see the prep from Astralis and what they're trying to force with their setup. So they went for Hooksy anchoring B and then 2 Con, 1 window, and then Yabi still anchoring A. And a lot of teams like to run around that you go for heavy mid control on the T side, but you run 2 lurks, right? You have your normal A lurk, but then you also throw the second, which is your other extremity player coming at apps or ramp, depending on. And then you're meant to be able to find the gap, right? But the fact that Yabi is allowed to play A because they have an extra man playing Con to make it look like the defense is chomping down on mid while presenting a gap, there isn't. So it is a gamble, but it's based off prep, and that's perfect because now that will play into this, right? They think there's a hole, there's no hole.
Apex has miffed it himself there.
They keep starting like this, Alex. Like Hooksy is starting solo B, right? There's nobody jumping in the vent room, nobody jumping short. It is essentially 2 window start that moves it to 2 Con with Yabi anchor A. They're doing it again.
How long until Vitality suss it out?
I don't even know how you're meant to suss it out, right? Because you're making assumptions like I just said, and you can't possibly know unless you rushed B and you kill Hooksy and you say, oh, there's no short player, right? But how often is that going to happen?
Probably not in the gun rounds.
And now they're regrouping into what is likely an A finish. So again, Yabi's still anchoring A, 2 players on Con. They're not worrying about short whatsoever. Their vision not even denied right now. It's just Device in window who's hoping to find something. A's being set up now. Yabi throws out block utility. Stair will have a HE available to break the smoke if they go a standard wall.
Waiting for the call.
Oh, he's used the HE. So Yabi's going to burrow in the site.
They're flying blind, but it's about to be very clear what's happening. Smoke's sailing through the sky. Vitality don't commit behind this. Now we see the movement. Yabi, he's ready for more. Good flashes, good layering. Where's the kills, though? It's big from Magisk and Yabi. 3 down on receipt. Just a couple back from ZywOo, but that's another Astralis round.
Okay, it feels to me like some teams are starting to understand Vitality's approach on multiple maps. You go to the Mouse game, they played 3 banana in so many rounds, and they caught timings against their half-wall progressions. And that was something that Vitality really struggled to find a solution with. Now, this is something that's super early in the piece. Sure, we're tying up 3-3, but again, they're just going to assume that maybe there was an info play somewhere within the round that gave them that information. Maybe they leered out Cat, they saw nobody was home. They are starting in this heavy setup, and now they've gone back to standard, 2-1-2.
Woo, okay, early friction. Look at the health.
Nice.
Oh, and he finishes and converts. Stair bowls him down. Apex, he just goes straight out Palace, and now Stair could have been caught with a nade in his hand, getting swung on jungle. Support trades. It's Device that delivers. Apex CT might meet Device quickly. Crazy quick round. I mean, look at the time. Look at the state of affairs.
Have smokes to drop in. Looks like one to go top connector. Can molly off to jungle. Apex has heard that, so actually they'll double layer Yuto into jungle. They did hear the CT player, and Apex has just been caught through a smoke spam. So now it's a 3v2.
Another Hooksy smoke spam. ZywOo removing Device. Flames is low, so it really does come down to positional Counter-Strike at this point.
Magisk has a smoke for the bomb, but they have to get there. Well, had a smoke for the bomb. That's gone into Palace.
Makes things difficult. The incendiary might make things a little easier.
Headbutt.
Yep, dinked up, finished off. Flamesy, we discussed his health. He's not well equipped for this. Jumps up, tries to punish, and quick reactions out of Hooksy. Another multi-kill round from Astralis' captain. He is at the top of the table right now. Early doors, sure. But yeah, Vitality, they are hitting a couple more bumps. A turbulent flight in pursuit of those semis.
Yeah, you see the energy there as well that they're winning with every round. Like in the previous one, Device like shaking his head in celebration. Right, this one here,
bonk.
Stair letting out a roar. It's well put together in this 2v2. It's not easy, and I think what Magisk wanted to be the Palace, but landed under the balcony. Maybe that was intentional to remove that vision on the way in. I'll give it to him either way, but Hooksy Sweeps up, takes down the Tetris player, and guess what? Vitality now down to pistols.
Is there any more Merriman magic in the Tech 9 department?
I think as well is if you want to go back to that B execute that you won on the Force Spy, that was Hooksy solo. So do you think you're going to get away with that again? As a nade lands deep in the pocket, Apex brought down to 60. Over towards B on his lones with Rops behind to throw some nades. I think this is going to be a B fake to draw the short player, who's already there. Device as well has cheated away from window, and they'll come out mid and try and split up short. Oh, actually, no. They're going to meander down to connector right now. So the B fake will be into Stare and Yabi's turf.
Curious to see if Magis gets any output here. Holding for that walk up. Zaiwu, hello. Oh. And goodbye! What a quick one! Smashes the skull of Magisk with a Deagle bullet.
There's here though. And bombs on the other side of this.
Through it with the back turn. Messi goes down. That's an important trade. Good find from Flames and a missed shot. He baits the shot up. Device goes back in for more. Yabi, he's such a consistent thorn in their side, dancing around the A site. Hard to find him. Even harder to put him down. Robs doesn't manage. Flamesy in the clutch, going for jump shots. That's how little hope he has. And Hooksy should finish the job. Keeps himself going. Another frag and another round.
Okay, considering the opening kill went in the favor of Vitality there, you thought they had a chance, but they paused out. They're expecting some type of a reaction. That smoke that Zaiwu drops, that's actually so they can part through and not die from short, but they hit the brakes. So right now, 2-round gap and tactical timeout called. The pressure is definitely on. Every listen-in that we have had so far from the Vitality camp within this quarterfinal has been Apex saying we need to listen to each other. Now, whether they've gone and ironed that out in between maps 2 and 3, it's nobody's business. They do get back into the gun, so 30 seconds to settle, understand the call, and move forward. It's decent cash on quite a few members of Astralis. There's the opener. It's a zinger, but it gets you nothing. Sure, a little bit of stress. You send him on his ass. But Yabi, he's getting all the luxuries in the world anchoring A right now. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Looks like they're gonna start off by trying to set up Zaiwu to find an early pick. Boost doesn't reward you.
Notice how they haven't done any mid-aggressors on the CT side. Maybe they poke their nose out con and spam the top mid-smoke, but they haven't run up mid, they haven't pushed into underpass.
That's true.
That can still come within the half. So they are giving the space to Vitality, and that's what they were doing in the early rifle rounds, right? They were going for that stack that I was talking about. Now, Device's AWP starting short means it gets to be a rifle-centric window and con defense.
And just given a second smoke for the connector. Zaiwu should have that one dead to Rice's Magisk.
Back-to-back openers. This time on the rifle round. One will get picked up from Apex. They can start to put together an A split. Mezzi in through Palace. Rops has friction, and he finds the frag.
Okay, this is the best chance they've had in a run of 4 from Astralis. 2 with no response.
I feel like you could just take the gamble right now as Astralis, and even if it just means you're saving, you are going to give yourself more opportunities.
Oh, the timing could not be worse for Robs.
There's no trade potential. No one's
None
swinging.
at all. Stare has managed to make this...
Hooksy's here as well.
One better. Hooksy CT, you're right, they're in the right place. Now they've lost Zaiwu in mid. Okay, what have you got? Mezzi picking off Hooksy, but Stare completely overlooked. Oh, he gets 2. Mezzi has to save Vitality from red faces, and he's gonna get a straight bullet through the smoke.
Jeez, mate.
Serendipity, or just a bit of lady luck.
This ain't looking good. Like that's a 5v3 advantage right there that comes down to a crazy 1v1, right? Yeah, they get the round, but you're not playing team-based Counter-Strike here at all. Like, Rops is stranded on ramp. Mezzi can swing Palace slightly, but he's not even in the deeper part of the doorway to get himself on the balcony. Mezzi does bail them out in a big way here, but it's not convincing Counter-Strike from Vitality, and you can see it in the reaction of Apex there, almost having a meltdown.
He's so relieved to have watched that kill connect through the smoke. That was nearly a travesty.
Oh, let's play together, boys. Yeah. We are 5v3s. Let's play together, boys.
Still the same problems persisting for Vitality.
Surely that kind of round, the fact that you've just been saved, that's a wake-up call. It's got to be.
Well, it's the same problem that existed from Nuke flowing into Mirage, so...
Maybe it's not a quick fix.
Exactly. Right now, it could just be, you know, your B or C game on display, but the scoreline doesn't care about that. Astralis don't either.
Yeah, and it does seem like Astralis really have managed to bring their A game today. Hooksy especially on this B side. Oh, missed shot from Device. Doesn't look like it's going to cost him. I say that. Second miss. Second frag for Vitality. Mezzi provides it. Overlooked completely. Magus just sneaks on in. How often do you see 3 members of Vitality just get walked on like that?
Yeah, invisibility cloak right there. Magus just able to pip that gap in all the chaos.
I've seen in this two-map run so far more of this, but nades out, knives out, backs turned, than I've seen in a multitude of Vitality games combined.
They're expecting a level of respect that isn't given over to them at all, and that one right there is going to leave a mark because you go down to Mezzi's clutch, you have to rebuy, you lose the round, the loss bonus is feeling all over the shop. And you're going to have to just go for a partial investment. So Astralis with 7 on the table. They've gone back to this 2-window, 1-con opener, but it's B again to be tested.
Zywoo with that rifle reveals its position. Quick flick up, finds the headshot, but there's Hooksy, and he's gotten a second. His output has been phenomenal.
I'm just trying this again.
Yep.
He's through again.
Same move. Mezzi. Woo! There's that Mezzi Tech 9. And there's the quick response. Yabi jumps into the window, finds the response, and uncomfortable with an unarmored Apex and Flamesy boosted up, finds an angle over the smoke. That's nice, quick thinking.
I want a double swing.
Yeah, but Yabi could win this. Whoa, that's close, Flamesy. They pull it off. This is by no means a walk in the park for Vitality.
Now, they're being put under a lot of pressure. The stress is there. The rounds that they are winning is requiring individuals to have an entry like this. Mezzi, we were talking about his proficiency with the Tech 9 in the second half of Nuke, and that wasn't enough to get them across the line. So another multi for him on the pistol. In the trenches right now.
Well, that's usually a marker of greatness, is being able to dig yourselves out of trouble.
Astralis are on the receiving end right now of financial woes. The end of the first half. Scout, Famus, MP9, and 2 M4s. Abby's played through the A-ramp smoke here. He's jumped on the vase.
We haven't really seen Yabi have a swing and a miss yet on A.
No, he's been having a good game. Devices rotating back over towards Ticket. Magic's playing... They've sold B again.
Yeah, Mezzi outside of B, not hearing any of those jump spots. Maybe that informs them, but looks like Robson Flames will be asking questions here.
Be a flash here, surely. No.
Nope. No. Too easy. Yabi, again, positionally sound. He's really put Robson in his pocket.
Well, B is open, so they'll essentially be playing retake. Flames selling the fake. They know it's a fake.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to get caught, isn't he? He's not ready for someone so close. It was a half-hearted swing, and now Stare makes it a 5v3, but as you highlighted, it will be that retake on B.
There is no kit for this.
It's going to be very uncomfortable.
Residual util, Molly's flashes HE, so they can hold them at the door for a little bit longer. Hooksy's short, Device through market. Yabi instead to join him.
I'm intrigued if Hooksy gets output from this position.
They just burnt both their mollies.
Did Apex catch him? Yeah, spotted him out further away from the angle, but actually doesn't find the lethality he's so desperately sought after. Zywoo win apps for that post-plant.
I'm about halfway gone now.
Apex is playing active. Don't forget about that 10-second defuse. Here they come. A massacre in the market. Hang on a second, Hooksy. No time for the 1v1. He can't play it how he wants to. Zywoo doesn't know he doesn't have a kit, but he knows it's going to be a 6-6 half. Vitality, sweat on the brow. Pressure is on. Astralis not rolling over and dying. Map 3 of this quarterfinal. This quarterfinal really heating up in our third map. Mirage dead even. 6-6. A sold-out stadium for Friday's quarterfinals, and they are getting a show. They're getting what they paid for. Most thought this would be a quick start to the day, Vitality included, but here we stand. 6-6, map 3, and frustrations. It feels like Groundhog Day. Every Vitality listening. Constantly talking about playing together. Listening to one another.
This is a 5 out of 6 of the pistols for Astralis.
Oh, Flamesy. Trying to get Vitality their second. Ooh, we nearly hit another one, you know. Flash for more, double dip. Oh, good tracking. Team play on display. Flamesy sets them up with a 5-on-3, and it only gets better. Flamesy, has he got another? Device puts him down, still though, hamstrung. Heavy damage inflicted. Mezzi finishes off the job. The cherry on top is just Device. And he's met by Zaiwu.
Okay, the problem in the last 3 pistols that were played is not a single one who won it was able to convert the second.
Okay.
So without the bomb going down, it becomes tough for Astralis to do that, but not impossible. We'll even see if they bother to go for the force buy. But maybe a bit of a history lesson for everybody as we get this back in the highlight package. You put your sharpest tool, your spearhead of your aggressive maneuvers over towards B to find this. They are going to eco, so this will give us a bit of time. One of the goals that we've heard come out of the Vitality camp this year, right? They had the best season ever in Counter-Strike in the first half of 2025.
Right.
But they were talking about wanting to beat Astralis' record of 10 trophies in a calendar year. Right now, Vitality have 8. To beat that, they need to win Chengdu, Hong Kong, and the Major. If Astralis beat them right here and now, they will be the ones, Device and Magis, combined to deny that possibility, and the very best they could do is tie it up.
I didn't know you were a poet, Chad, because that is poetry. Okay, interesting.
They had a good game plan in the first half of how to deal with the standard plays from Vitality and their T side. What does Hooksy have in store for the CT? Zaiwu, aggressive. A man on a mission, straight up mid.
Is there a setup to get further? A HE scuttles to Hooksy's feet.
So I've heard this.
Striding, Zaiwu knows what's up, knows he's on that right side of the box, and will try and punish in this little blind spot. Hooksy, are you ready? Oh, he wasn't. So Zaiwu's aggressions up mid have netted them an opening and an AK on the Wu.
Does it force them into the B play? They might go through this smoke.
As he's looking like he's unprepared for the whole squad running at him now. He does need help. They're miles away. Playing his life, delaying the inevitable. A little bit of a summon, some damage onto Stair, puts him low. Through the bench, look at Yabi's health. One more bullet would do it for 2 of them. Zaiwu finds it, uses that AK to find another. Apex, you can't be going down to a Galil with 1 HP. Oh, but it Robs can! It's a 2-on-1! Flames Usually the first to be fighting, now left alone to try and close. A 1v2, finding an AK makes it more realistic, but ooh, he gets the info safely, does device. Flash is perfect, avoids the potential for that apartment line. Magisk is on the line now. Oh, headshot provided. He sees it, he has a great idea. Oh, he gets it. Crosshair was right there, but Magisk is quicker.
Yeah, crazy for Magisk there as well. Not playing the bomb, stopping the cross, and maybe understandably so. There was a smoke in play, no kit, maybe one to be scooped up on the site with all the corpses. But that is the rifle round, something that Astralis were struggling with on map number 1. A 13-7 scoreline. Pistols and conversions got them 6. One rifle round in that whole first map. They had to get a few more of those on Nuke, but it was a lot about the force buys, the light buys. Vitality. Chip in. All for Zaiwu. Famous for Mezzi. That's the highs and the lows. Zaiwu's AWP posted up aggressive B. Has a lot of space available in terms of information. Apex jungle. Flamesy aggressive in Palace on the other side. So they have taken a lot of territory on the extremities, Vitality.
Which leaves that center of the map. Middle, fully occupied. Apex, you're responsible for this. Gets the info safely. He's got boatloads of that. Spots 2, spots the bomb. Mezzi, he's going to play forward of the util. Might swing on this, especially with Apex chipping in. More than that, takes 2. Bomb spotted. Trade